So the next tutorial is all to do with making your proposal. Now, you've done your research into the text, you've got a good idea of what you want to make, you've picked the brief that you want to do, so now you need to put this down in writing. So basically what a proposal is it's a written document which explains exactly what you are going to be producing for the coursework. And this gets sent to the examiner, and they look at this before they even look at your products, and they compare your proposal to your final product. So therefore it needs to be pretty accurate. Now, you'll find proposal in MEST 2, in Task 2, intentions, and its proposal. So what I've given you in here is I've given you a proposal writing frame there, and I give you some examples from last year's work. So brief 1, brief 2, brief 3. Now do note that brief 1 has changed. So last year it was all to do with making films, whereas this year now it's to do with TV. So some of the stuff in there, when you look at it, doesn't exactly match the what the new brief is about. However, the whole idea of how it's laid out is similar to the writing frame that I've given you, so it should give you some hints and tips on what they're doing. Now, you can either do this in two ways. You can either do it on one document with both of your products on there, or you can do it in two different documents. It is easier to do it in one document when you do this. So the key things are from this, which I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. I'll show you the writing frame, but you must talk about in here how your research and what you found out from the previous text that you look at, how it has informed your products that you're planning to make. So you mustn't speak about, in your research, if you saw something that you liked, if you liked the titles, then you need to make sure that in your proposal you're saying, I'm aiming to build my titles like the product that I saw previously. So let's have a look at the writing frame, which is this one here. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to answer these sections. I don't want you to give me the questions, I want you to do this in paragraphs, but this should help you in terms of laying out exactly what you need to write about. So we have an introduction, so what am I doing? Describe the brief that you've picked, and what platforms will you be working on. Remember, you're only working on 2 of 3. Once you've done your introduction, then answer the 2 sections which apply to you. Okay, remember, one of the platforms you will not be working on. You won't be working on maybe broadcast or e-media or print, depending on what you've selected. So for the first section, okay, so broadcast 1. Okay, so the first thing you talk about is what is your show or TV program called? What if you named it? Then you say what is it about, and you're going to describe the narrative, the storyline, the characters, locations that you're going to be used. Then you're going to tell me exactly about what you will be producing. What specifically is it? Is it a documentary? Is it a film? Is it a preview to a new TV show, etc., etc.? You're going to go into that in detail. Then you're going to tell me about what the product, how the product ties into the brief. So why does it link? Then, when you're doing this section here, please do go into detail in here. When you're telling me what it's about, don't just say it's a TV show about 2 kids at school. I need you to go into a lot of detail here so the examiner's got a good idea of what they're going to be looking at. Then after you've done this section here, you're going to talk about the primary audience, and I want to see primary and secondary target audiences. Remember, there's a difference between what a primary audience is and a secondary audience. Primary being who it's aimed at specifically, secondary being people who may have an interest in it or may pick it up, but they may not necessarily have gone out on purpose to view it. And I want you to tell me the ages, the genders, the demographics and psychographics, and the uses and gratifications. If you don't include these 4 sections, then I'll be sending it back for you to do again. It's important that they are included. The examiner needs to see this. Then tell me what genre does it fall into. Describe the codes and conventions that you're going to use throughout. So remember, codes and conventions are the various things that make up the genre. What does this product contain and how does it link into the audience? So tell me the storyline, the scenes that you're going to use, camera shots, edits and effects that you think will be important to be used to set the scene. What are the representations that you're going to construct of the people involved in it? So what are the people representations are you making to do with your TV show, or the musician that you've picked, or the people who played the sport that you've selected, depending on the brief. Tell me what language you'll be using throughout the product. Is it standard British? Will it be using a lot of slang? Will it be upper class language, and why have you included that? Remember to link that to audience. Tell me about the research that you've done and how it ties into the brief. What will you like, dislike, and what will you incorporate? And finally, tell me the equipment that you will need. Okay, so then if you're doing e-media, again, tell me what you'll be producing to start with. So what is it specifically you're making? Is it a 3-page website for a band? Is it a 5-page website? Tell me about how the product links into the brief. Again, who are the primary and secondary target audiences? Specifically in detail, tell me about the product. So tell me about the web pages that you're going to make. What content's going to be on each page? What are the pages going to be called? Just tell me about the codes and conventions adopted. Again, going back to this bit, tell me about what's on each page. So specifically, text, images, pictures, music, video. You need to make sure that you include all of those things within the page. Tell me about the layout of each page. Tell me about where the navigation menu is going to be. Tell me about the colours that you're going to use on there. Is it a set colour scheme? What happens to the pictures that you're going to use on the page, etc., etc. Tell me about the representations you're going to be constructing. Tell me about the language you're going to use. Tell me about your research, how it links into the product, into this idea, and equipment that you're going to use. Now for e-media, be really specific. Like I said, you need to make sure that you have text, images, video, sound, hyperlinks to other websites. You want to be thinking about making slideshows, making animations, maybe adding in some sort of calendar that you can use, linking it to SoundCloud, linking it to YouTube, all that sort of stuff, because that's where the marks are on this. Finally, product 3, which is print. Tell me what you're going to be producing again. How does the product tie into the brief? The primary and secondary audiences for each of the various products that you're going to be producing. Remember, so for example, if you're doing brief 1, the audiences for the print work may be very different depending on the products that you've picked. So it's really important you tell me the target audience for each product that you may be producing. Tell me what you're making, okay? Tell me specifically about the products that you've selected to make. Remember that some of the, in the print brief, so if you're doing music for example, you need to make 2 or 3 products. So you need to tell me specifically about each different product that you're going to be producing. Tell me about images, layout, colours, font, etc., etc., logos. Where are they going to be? What are you making? Whereabouts are they going to be placed? Tell me the codes and conventions you're going to adopt. Tell me about the representations. Tell me about what sort of language you're going to use. Again, tell me about your research, and tell me the equipment that you're going to be using. And then finally, to finish, you'll give me 1 paragraph about how all these products are linked together. And remember that how these products are linked together are to do with things like maybe creating an advertising campaign, or creating a brand, or trying to appeal to new audiences, or something along those lines. So that's the next assignment that you're going to be doing.